One day as Moses was teaching his people, a man asked, "O prophet, who is the most knowledgeable person?" Moses confidently replied, "I am." But God revealed to him that there was a servant at the junction of two seas who had knowledge beyond his own. Moses, eager to learn, turned to his young companion Joshua and said, "I will not stop until I find him, no matter how long it takes." And when Moses said to his servant, "I will not give up until I reach the junction of the two seas, or I will continue for a long period." Al-Khidr 1860. The journey begins. After days of traveling, they stopped to rest near a large rock. While they slept, their fish, meant for food, came to life and slipped into the sea, leaving a strange ripple behind. Later, as hunger set in, Moses said, "Bring our meal. This journey has been tiring." Joshua suddenly remembered, "I forgot to tell you, the fish escaped into the sea in a way I have never seen before." He said, "Did you see when we rested at the rock? I forgot the fish, and it took its course into the sea in an amazing way." Al-Khidr 1863. Moses realized this was the sign. They quickly returned and found a man, Al-Khidr, waiting for them. The test of patience. Moses greeted him and said, "I wish to learn from what God has taught you." Al-Khidr replied, "You will not be able to have patience with me." Moses said, "May I follow you so that you teach me some of the knowledge you have been given?" He said, "Indeed, you will never be able to have patience with me." Al-Khidr 1866-67. Moses insisted, "You will find me patient, God willing." He said, "You will find me, if God wills, patient, and I will not disobey you in any matter." Al-Khidr 1869. Al-Khidr agreed, but warned, "Then do not question anything I do until I explain it to you. Then if you follow me, do not ask me about anything until I make mention of it to you." Al-Khidr 1870. They boarded a boat with kind fishermen, but suddenly Al-Khidr damaged the boat by removing a plank. Moses, shocked, said, "What have you done? You're going to sink the boat." He said, "Did you damage it to drown its people? You have certainly done a grave thing." Al-Khidr 1871. Al-Khidr reminded him to be patient. Moses apologized, promising to stay silent. They moved on. As they continued, they saw a young boy playing. To Moses' horror, Al-Khidr killed the child. "How could you take an innocent life? This is terrible." He said, "Did you kill a pure soul for no reason? You have certainly done a horrible thing." Al-Khidr 1874. Again, Al-Khidr warned him. Moses, struggling, promised one last time not to speak. They reached a village, but the people refused to give them food. Despite this, Al-Khidr repaired a collapsing wall in the village for free. Moses couldn't hold back. "Why not ask for payment? These people didn't even help us." He said, "If you wished, you could have taken a payment for it." Al-Khidr 1877. Al-Khidr turned to him and said, "This is where we part ways, but before you go, I will explain." He said, "This is the parting between you and me. I will tell you the meaning of what you could not be patient with." Al-Khidr 1878. The truth revealed. The boat belonged to poor fishermen. A king was seizing good boats, so I damaged it slightly to protect it. As for the boat, it belonged to poor people working at sea, so I intended to damage it as there was a king who seized every good boat by force. Al-Khidr 1879. The boy was destined to grow into a tyrant, leading his righteous parents to misery. God planned to replace him with a better child. As for the boy, his parents were believers, and we feared he would overburden them with arrogance and disbelief. So we intended that their Lord should substitute for them one better in purity and closer in affection. Al-Khidr 1880-81. The wall covered a treasure belonging to two orphan boys. Their father was righteous, so God wanted to protect their inheritance until they were older. And as for the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the city, and beneath it was a treasure for them, and their father was righteous. So your Lord intended that they reach maturity and extract their treasure as a mercy from your Lord. Al-Khidr 1882. Finally, Al-Khidr concluded, "I did none of these things on my own. This is the wisdom you could not bear to wait for." Moses stood in silence, realizing the vastness of God's knowledge. This story teaches us, We only have a small fraction of knowledge, and you have not been given of knowledge except a little. Al-Isra 17:85. Not everything is as it seems. Only God knows the unseen. He knows what is hidden in the hearts. Ghafir 40:19. Trust in God's wisdom, even when things seem unfair. Moses came seeking knowledge but left with something greater, an understanding that true wisdom belongs only to God.